Hey guys, I'm DM Zone, and this is a Gamer's Oasis, and I want to talk to you real quickly about Dungeons & Dragons Online, or DDO. Welcome back, guys. I want to do real quick a PSA as well as this video description and kind of explain what I'm trying to do here. So the videos I'm doing with my other content, which is also D&D mostly related, is a lot of information. It takes a little bit longer. I'm working a lot of hours. I have a lot of things that make it so it's sometimes hard to get a video out per week. I don't want to make a lot of excuses, so I want to do a quick video, something like this I can do every week to get that hit on YouTube every week, and it helps with the algorithms and maybe make this worth it someday. And then I want to still get out my informational videos, which I think will come in bursts. As I get done with one area and I have enough knowledge about this, I release those videos. I'll try and stagger them out per week, but maybe, it might be 4 weeks in a row I have it, and it might take 6 weeks to get the next one, or a total of 2 more weeks to get the next one out. And I don't want that gap. So I'm going to be doing some videos with DDO to kind of fill that space. So if you're not really into the DDO stuff, just wait for the other content to come out. It will continue to come out. That's my main focus. This is just kind of something for fun. So the series I'm thinking about doing, I guess you could call it a campaign. The campaign I want to do is I want to run a character from first level to 30th and go through every module or dungeon that there is in the game. And then when I get to 30th, if there's some I've missed, maybe I'll go back and do them, or maybe we'll just skip those. I don't know. We'll see how much interest there is in these videos I'm doing. So as you can see here on my screen, I have lots of characters. I play primarily on the Kyber server. I'm going to click on it to actually turn some audio on. But I play primarily on the Kyber server, and I've been playing there since literally beta. So you can see here I have Zone Kyber, and I also made Zone... or that Rita, I don't know. Anyways, when the servers got merged, I ended up with 2 Zone No Shadows, which I then eventually kept, and I kind of like the hyphenated name. This is not a 7th level fighter. This is a 7th level fighter on its 4th life. So it's actually been max level 3 times prior and been true reincarnation. So I have played quite a bit. You see I got some characters in the high 20s. I got a couple right here at Qualix, and I got Yagnog over here. Alright, anyways, so a character I thought about doing is one that was popular back in beta when I played. It was a good solo class that I don't know has the same potential as it did back then when the level cap was 10, as it does now when the level cap is 30. Probably not. And I'm not even sure what the final build will be. I'm just going to sort of play it by ear. But back then it was 2 levels of Rogue and 8 levels of Cleric. So I'll probably keep something close to that so that I'm able to do the top end traps. Yeah, I'm able to be a Cleric, essentially. So my final build might be... guessing 2 to 4 levels of Rogue, and then 16 to 18 levels of Cleric is what I'm thinking. You're going to lose some top end spells, but you'll be a trap monkey as well, I guess. And it might be a good solo class. I don't know. Alright, so let me go ahead and make it real quick. And if it's wrong, then I just have to change everything I did with it and reincarnate after I force it to the 20th. Custom, I'm actually going to keep it female. Race is going to be dwarf. It was called the utility tool, if I remember right. I don't normally play females, but I figured I would in this case just because I don't normally, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to leave a 15 here in wisdom. The reason why I'm leaving a 15 in wisdom is I'll do it later, but I have a tome. I just actually got just today in the random rolls. I got a tome of wisdom +1 that is bound to my account, and I have no character that could possibly use it other than maybe this guy, because I only want to really keep one cleric, and that cleric's 27th level. So on its second life. So I'm not probably ever going to take that character back to first level as I go for the third life of cleric, or maybe go into paladin and then come back to cleric. I don't know. All right, beginning stats. I'm going to go ahead and put stuff, skills into stuff I've already got stuff in. So like charisma based stuff, I'm not going to do. Disabled device is obviously a must. Hide is important for what I'm doing. I hope to be able to maybe sneak around and show you some stuff. Probably with invisibility up, because sometimes hide is not enough. You need to be hidden and stealthed, like through invisibility. I'm going to get search, and I'm going to get spot up. But you notice I got listen up. I want the narration notifications. I'm not doing tumble, and if I do go use magic device, which I probably won't, I'll get that later. I might go spellcraft just because there's some benefit to having spellcraft. All right, I want to go not have the cleave route available to me because I do not have a 13 strength. I'm going to be going finesse weapons. But since I've played, if weapon finesse is a feat, it's been a long time since I played. Maybe I'll go up to 6th level and get mechanic. We're going to point blank shot. All my skills here, as you can see, that are important to me are the ones that are dex based, and they're all going to be plus 7. Disabled device, which is intelligence based, is +2, so I'm 6s and 7s on pretty much everything. Later on, I'll get concentration up when I go levels of cleric. I don't even think I have any at 5, which is nice. So I'm either really good or I don't have it. So swim is the only one I'm neutral on. Swim and jump probably, because I don't have actual bonuses to that. Let's go ahead and do some randomization, see what we get here. It's going to be chaotic good. I'm going to go with the DM. But the first thing I'm going to go with igneous, which is a type of volcanic stone that comes from the earth. And I was going to try and do flora. If I'll stay capitalized. Igneousflora, or stone flower. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do this like I would normally do my videos when I'm doing my dungeon delves. What's going to happen now is I'm going to go ahead and enter the game, play out the actual mission, and then I'll be doing a voiceover for the actual mission part versus a let's play type of style, because I'm going to be fast forwarding through the game, editing it down to where you only see the important parts of the mission and maybe a little bit of the travel in between, so that it's not so boring, because some of these missions might take an hour and you don't want to see someone running along or fighting orcs again, you know, just flash across the screen 5 more orcs, 6 more orcs, I don't know, something of that nature is what I'm thinking of. Or maybe just show half the fight with the orcs instead of the last one over and over again. And if I do the voiceover in the game, then I'm going to be losing some of the content. So I'll be doing live streams. If you want to watch that type of stuff, come watch me in live stream and we'll go from there. All right, so let me go ahead and jump in the game and I'll do my editing of that other stuff later. Hey guys, welcome back. This is me going to go ahead and start my game. The first quest is called the Grotto quest. As you can see here, I start out in airship, but I choose to be first level. As you can see here, I start out this main character for the game. This is called, his name is Grotto, or excuse me, his name is Jeets. Jeets is used in several missions, quests later in the game, especially when you go back into the merchant quarter or something like that. I don't know, it's like level 16 minimum level. So you can see here there's a dragon that flies over my head. This dragon is actually part of the original storyline that this game went through. Initially, you started out in an area like this, and there was a lot of like class quest type stuff where you would have like the thief challenge and the healing challenge, and you'd have to go in there and use like a healing kit or something like that. You'd have to go in there and use a melee tactic like Sunder or something like that. Is that Sunder? I don't know. Stuff like that. And if you did, you got bonus loot that was basically free potions of healing. But you started out in a whole different starting area, and it was much like the stuff you see behind me there, where it's all frozen over and stuff like that. I'm saying a lot of stuff like that, so I'll try and avoid that. Okay, I've got my starting quest. I got my starting items, which is thieves' tools and a staff. I chose to go with a staff because it's going to be really good in later missions when you fight skeletons and whatnot. And I'll get magic weapons after this that will be decent or good for what I'm doing as I go. This Warforged here is actually a member in some of the quests that you deal with later on too. These are all sort of characters you run into later in the game. So if you remember who they are, you'll remember seeing them. You might remember them when you run into them later in the game. So this first quest is actually designed to give you all the things, all the encounters you're going to run into, whether it's a treasure encounter, whether it's a monster encounter, whether it's a wall that you got to scale, or a ladder you got to climb, or a trap you got to disarm, or a door you got to pick, or a puzzle you got to solve. They're all super basic, designed for you to win. None of this is stuff that you can really fail on. One of the things I do here, as you can see, is I separate my bars out into 3 different bars. For non-casting types, I do that. I usually put the same attacks, swap weapons, that type of stuff in the same location, so that when I when I'm just not looking and I need to swap weapons or I need to do something, then that makes sense. Also, if I'm playing like a wizard and I know that I need to cast a hold person, that's the equivalent of basically weapon swapping, if that makes sense. Like, you have to switch weapons because the proximity of the enemy to you. Casting the hold person is kind of the same thing. So that would be my 7. My area effect hold person, when I get to that level and able to cast like 5th level spells, that would be 8. And generally that's how I do. Or if I have like a mez or something like that, I'll put that, like mez generally is an area effect, so I'll do that as 8. Now, my defensive fighting ability, whatever, it's the weakest version, which is defensive fighting, or an action boost problem or a thing, I'll do that as 5. My melee attacks, generally I'll do in 1, 2, 3. 4 is generally like an action surge for like, to hit, skill bonuses, stuff like that. You also will notice that I have 2 sets of damage that scroll by sometimes. The first one is the weapon. The second one is any sort of backstab damage. So if I surprise a creature, or if I'm flanking, or if it's held, I can get backstab damage. If it is asleep, I can get backstab damage. If you see like big numbers, like you see a 15 coming up here in a second, that's actually a crit. That's not actually a backstab damage. I don't believe I backstabbed that one. I believe I just crit it. But basically that's how it is. There's a few monsters. If you're stealthed, generally the monsters, unless they can see you, will not target you first. So you have the ability to evade or avoid it. Which is always a good tactic, if possible. I also try to attack monsters that are attacking other things and try not to attack things that are attacking me, just so I can always get the backstab damage. Also, I never try and sunder anything unless I don't think the sunder is actually going to work. The sunder will give you an extra attack, But if it does land and the creature fails its save, it'll actually taunt the creature onto you potentially, which is never a good thing for a rogue. There's actually, I don't want to call them feats, but there's abilities you can buy later in this game that will reduce your chance to actually attract monsters' attention, or they call threat. You notice I put a potion in the number 10 slot. Generally, especially if it's not a cleric, that's where I put potions. If it is a cleric, I'll put mana potions there so I can get more spell points. If you don't have any points in swim and you're a 0, you can still make the swim easy enough. It's based on your constitution level and your ability to swim, how quickly or slowly your swim action bar goes down. So I have a 16 con and a 4 in swim. Not very good swim, but 16 con's pretty good. So I can have a pretty good swim bar. I could probably do the dungeon, forget which one it is, but it's got this long tube. I could probably do that one without the water breathe ring, but you usually get a water breathe ring before then, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so I just undid a trap here. It gives you bonus XP. Also, finding secret passages gives you bonus XP. If you find one, you get some bonuses, but then you have to get so many more to get the complete bonus. Same thing with killing monsters. If you kill some of the monsters, you'll get... Or if some of the monsters get killed, then you get like a 5% bonus, but it's usually not 1. It's like a certain percentage of it, like maybe 20% or 25% of the monsters killed gives you a 5% bonus. And then I think there's actually 3 tiers. And then at like 50%, you get another bonus. And at like 75% or 80% of the monsters killed, you get an additional tier. If it was an orange or a red con mob, a boss or a mini boss, as I like to refer to him, or a rare, then I would not have been able to probably win that fight with the gear I have currently. So here you can see I get a short bow and finally get some armor, and I think my ring of water breathe. So that gives me the ability to fire arrows for range. It gives me a little bit of armor class, so I'm actually pretty good, and I don't look so hideous. And I go ahead and set my hotkeys up at 7 and 8. If I was a caster, I generally put hold spells or things that shoo things away like fear at 7 and 8, because that's essentially where that is. And here you see me find a secret trap. Not a secret trap, but a secret door. My spot's high enough that I actually get notification when I walk near it. Difference between spot and search. Spot is the ability to know that something is there, like you can search for, and search is the ability to find it. So if you have a low spot, you don't get any notifications that there's a secret passage near you, and if you have a low search, you can't find it even though your spot says there's one there. I choose to go with a repeating crossbow. It may have been a mistake, I don't know. Nothing really else on there except for the rapier I would have wanted, but I'm not using finesse weapons anyways until maybe 4th level when I pick a new feat, or 3rd level when I pick a new feat or whatever it is. But I'm probably not going to go that route anyways because I need to prepare for the mechanic. Mechanic, you get that at 6th level, and that's when I could use the repeating crossbow. So if I don't find a repeating crossbow better than that between now and then, I'll use this one. This one does like a D6 damage, which isn't bad. Anyways, guys, if you like this type of video, go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the little bell. I look forward to seeing you guys around, and I'll have more videos like this. If you enjoy DDO, I should be doing 1 video a week like this with different modules, and I'll be doing Twitch at certain times. I'll put a calendar up somewhere, probably on my Facebook. You can find me at DM Zone or at A Gamers Oasis, the group, and find it there. Also, I'll have a Pinterest with all screenshots of a lot of the stuff I'm doing, so you guys can enjoy and participate in what I'm doing. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.